guys, welcome back to Resistance Chicks from the basement of things where we are hidden.
No.
Leah said something real fancy earlier, and I couldn't remember what it was. But
welcome to the underground
resistance
broadcasting
network.
You will now know why we are called the Resistance Chicks,
right?
Because if you are receiving this broadcast, you are part of the resistance.
You are. Because as the chaos engulfs the globe, and as the globalists scream and run and start slashing people's throats right and left, willy-nilly slashing their own throats, slashing each other's throats. Wow.
So I gotta hand it to the Democrats because they keep walking into a wall and banging their head against the wall. And then all the other Democrats come to them.
It's like zombification.
And they pad their forehead, right?
Okay, yeah.
And they say, "Go ahead, keep doing it."
Right.
They're harming each other. They're harming themselves. And at what point do we straitjacket them and put them in rubber rooms? Because every time you think they will have, it's like when your parents say, don't put your hand on the stove, and you're like, well, why not? And you put your hand on the stove and it burns, and you realize it. So we're saying don't make up these baseless lies and smears against Trump.
Right.
It's going to backfire on you. So right now, the biggest loser of what is happening, if you have your head under a rock, you've come to the right place. We are going to try to break things down. But if you don't know what's going on, go back and watch our show we did on Wednesday. Catch yourself up and then rewatch this show. Because we got too much to go and delve into. Because too much has happened in 24 hours.
It's been 48 since Wednesday.
Well, I know, but not much happened in that 24 hours. And a lot has happened in the next 24 hours. All right, I would have gone live yesterday. Do you understand what I'm telling you? Okay, we're in the middle of a civil war, and it happened in the last 24 hours. You know who joined the wrong side? You know who joined the empire? Tulsi Gabbard. And here we thought she was the only sane Democrat left. She was she went on Fox News. Fox News is the only person that has her on. She learned. I saw something change in that girl's face. Okay, and I was waiting for her moment because there is no way you can get to that level and not be sucked in, especially if you're not a full-blown Christian filled with the Holy Ghost and the power of God. Okay? And even Trump got sucked in on a lot of things, hiring a lot of neocons and war people.
It happens to them all.
Okay, so Tulsi's like, I changed my mind. I think that I read the transcript and we need to go forward with impeachment of this president.
So, and here's the thing that these people don't understand what the articles of impeachment, what they are for. And it's kind of like a Chicken Little moment. And so moving forward, if there ever is a president that does commit an impeachable offense, it really just nullifies that. I mean, it takes it down to nothing because we've now made a joke and a circus of what this process is supposed to really be.
Here's the thing, y'all, none of us were ever supposed to see those transcripts. That's presidential privilege in the first place.
Right.
Okay? Do you know, all the way down to whenever they invented the telephone, presidents be saying stuff on the phone that be against the law. Okay? There are so many laws in this country. Now, there's no quid pro quo there. They were upset that Trump asked the Ukrainian government to look into Joe Biden and Joe Biden's son. Most importantly, Joe Biden's son. Joe Biden sat on a stage and said, I told those Ukrainians I'm holding back $1.4 billion unless you fire an attorney general. Well, that's
looking into my son.
Wouldn't he need to be impeached before he can even run at this point? Like, he needs to be impeached from being vice president.
Right. Okay, sure. I mean, can you
posthumously
impeach somebody?
Yes,
okay.
you can. Yes,
well, then why didn't that happen to Nixon?
Well, because he resigned, everyone's like, well, we're back off now.
I understand.
Okay. That was his, he didn't want to be impeached, so he resigned. They gave you two choices a lot of times. So I guess, I'm going to quote Bill O'Reilly.
Okay, go ahead.
And now, here's the thing. This is a civil war, and you're seeing, and I've always known that people at Fox News and like Chris Wallace and Shepard Smith and all these people, they're neocons. I can't stand Chris Wallace as far as I could throw him, okay? And Chris Wallace is like, there's stuff there for impeachment.
Oh
like, there really is. I think that we need to go forward. I really do. Seriously, high crimes, okay? Is there a dead body? and misdemeanors, like, Trump did not break the law. Did he did he write a bad check? He knew he didn't have enough money in that bank account, and he wrote a check.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, something that can be prosecuted in the court of law.
Okay, so
high crimes. Here's
the deal.
Wait, before we finish.
Okay.
Newt Gingrich, and I don't like him as much as I can throw him either, but he presided over the Clinton impeachment. And he said, we had an inspector general report that had criminal referrals and 7 counts against Clinton.
Wow.
And it started from a sexual harassment case from Paula Jones.
Right.
And then Monica Lewinsky got brought up into it. Clinton did lie under oath, and he lied to the American people.
Exactly.
Okay, and these were all things. I mean, these were prosecutable crimes. And on top of that, Clinton was disbarred for his crimes.
Right.
There
was a legal action that was taken against him.
Yeah, he literally broke the law.
Right.
And so he probably, in my opinion, he should have been impeached in the Senate as well. But he wasn't. But I'm saying that here's the thing, they want an impeachment inquiry to something that is not even there. The impeachment inquiry was started because of the Paula Jones sexual harassment cases.
Yeah. Okay.
There's been no real case against Donald Trump. And as far as this whistleblower, he shouldn't be called a whistleblower, because whistleblower has to have a first-hand account. This guy has second and third-hand accounts. I'm going to show you some clips here that say that the whistleblower didn't come and say, I have this information and I need to bring this specific information forward.
Right.
Saying, I heard this from this. It is written out like a legal brief. I'm going to play you a video of Mark Levin talking about it. It's written out by a legal brief. Lawyers put this together. And it's believed to be one of John Brennan's CIA guys that are in there. They're going to find out who he is. His lawyer is Chuck Schumer, and Clinton lawyer. Yeah. Okay. This is a political hit job. Right. Against Donald Trump.
So before you move on, I want to break something down for those of you that don't understand. The way that the legal process, or not legal, the way that the government in the United States works is the president is the highest office in the land. Okay.
He can pardon himself.
Legally, he is the one that can ask Ukraine to look into Joe Biden's son, and Joe Biden himself, who has literal illegal processes and proof that has happened. There's something way nefarious going on there. And so you can't just say, well, just because you're running for a second office and that guy is running against you, it's a conflict of interest, so you can't do your job as president. All right. Okay, they can't do that. The president has the highest legal authority above the Senate, above Congress, above anyone to ask another nation to investigate something
that already has an underlying crime to it.
Exactly.
And this is why.
This isn't, hey, go get some dirt on a political opponent of mine.
No, because here's the thing. And I just lost it.
I'm sorry. All right. What do you got from Hannity here?
What were you saying? Because it was kind of important.
That the president has every legal right to ask the Ukraine to look into something that has illegally happened, or probably illegally happened. Yeah, it already has a criminal element to it.
I'll come up with it.
Said, can I talk to you as a father?
What happened here? We're not.
Is it not turned on? I don't think I ever turned it on.
I think it might be low battery or something.
Well, we can just plug it in. Oh, there it goes. We'll plug it in anyway.
Okay, so John Solomon has a 400-some-odd page document report in which he released last night, and it shows that the Attorney General that was looking into Joe Biden's son, he was asked by the government to step down because they said, we're receiving pressure from Joe Biden.
Yeah. From the Ukrainian government. This is a Ukrainian.
We're going to lose $1.4 billion, so we need you to step down.
And he did, and he said that he did it for the good of his country.
Right.
Well, maybe that would have been different. But he used our money to get a Ukrainian prosecutor fired who was investigating his son, and even the New York Times warned him, and he tried many times to get this guy fired and eventually succeeded when he said, you got 6 hours. Oh, son of a bee, they fired him. According to multiple sources, as vice president, 2014, Biden was appointed point person by Obama in Ukraine. A few months later, Joe's son, Hunter, scored a lucrative position on the board of Burisma Holdings. That is Ukrainian oil and gas giant. Well, Hunter Biden was paid millions of dollars for consultancy fees, but he had no experience in oil, gas, energy, or no experience with Ukraine that anybody can find. In November 2015, Joe Biden was told by the New York Times his son's under investigation by Ukrainian authorities. December 2015, Joe Biden made his first request to the president of Ukraine to fire the leading prosecutor looking into the investigation of Burisma Holdings and the relationship with Hunter Biden. In March of 2016, John Solomon reports Biden knew this prosecutor was again investigating his son. That's when Biden leveraged your money, $1 billion taxpayer.
Speaking of Burisma Holdings, this electric company, this energy company,
right?
Mitt Romney has he sought Donald Trump's endorsement to run for a Senate, and he got it, and he's been against Trump ever since. And on this particular thing with the impeachment and looking into it, he's like, well, you got to look into it, blah, 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 blah. You know why? Because one of his campaign advisors sits on that Burisma board.
Wow. It's all linked together.
Forced the Ukrainian president to fire the prosecutor in 6 hours. That would be a billion reasons why he had to. And Biden claims the prosecutor was corrupt, and that's why he wanted him to go. He wants you to believe the billion-dollar quid pro quo had nothing to do with the son's company. Thanks to John Solomon, breaking news tonight, we now have evidence that Biden is likely lying through his teeth. Here with the full report, investigative reporter, Executive Vice President of the Hill, John Solomon. Why don't I just let you go through, first of all, explain to this audience how many documents we have, and what these documents are, and what you have gleaned from them.
Over the course of 18 months, I've gathered more than 450 pages of documents. These come from 4 sources.
John Solomon has been looking into this for 18 months.
And
what
so,
are the
and so President Trump,
all of a sudden, I think that they got wind that John Solomon was onto something, and they're like, we've got to get ahead of this. The same thing with the Russian collusion story. They knew that what they did with Christopher Steele was wrong and against the law.
Exactly.
So they had to pin it on Trump, and they kept dabbling it again, and more and more and more and more and more.
State Department, the Ukraine Prosecutor General's office, the Ukraine Embassy in Washington, D.C., and the legal team representing Burisma during the time that Hunter Biden was employed as a board member and consultant at that natural gas company in Ukraine. So that is the body of documents. These documents show, as I report tonight for the first time, that the very day that Joe Biden managed to get that Ukraine prosecutor, Mr. Shokin, fired, that very day, his son's company's lawyers, the American lawyers helping Hunter Biden's Burisma company try to fight this investigation, were trying urgently to reach the new prosecutor, the replacement prosecutor. 1 week later, they managed to get that meeting. They're in Ukraine less than a week after Biden fires the prosecutor. And in that meeting, according to the official record of the meeting from the prosecutors, the lawyers for Hunter Biden's company and the lobbyists for Hunter Biden's company stated to the replacement prosecutor, we know that the information calling Mr. Shokin corrupt and inept was, quote, false information, close quote, distributed by U.S. government officials and other figures. We are sorry for that. We would like to make this up to you by bringing you to Washington or connecting you with the Obama administration officials so you can tell them the true story, that you did have a legitimate investigation against Burisma and you were not corrupt and you had instigated numerous reforms. That is the official record of the meeting Ukrainian prosecutors kept. A few days later, Hunter Biden's American lawyers, the lawyers representing Hunter Biden's company, Burisma, sent a follow-up email trying to make good on their promise to bring these new prosecutors to Washington to explain the dirty tricks campaign that had been run against Mr. Shokin and to clear the air. If Joe Biden forced the firing of this prosecutor on the grounds that he was corrupt, and Hunter Biden's lawyers go and say that was false information, somebody's not telling the truth. We need to get to the bottom of that.
I want to, this is important here because what you're outlining here are facts. You have documents to back all this up. You have 450
I posted
of
the
them.
documents. People can go read the documents.
Okay.
Yes.
Burisma American legal reps met with Ukrainian officials days after Biden forced the firing of the chief prosecutor. You interviewed the chief prosecutor. The chief prosecutor told you, told ABC, yes, told the Washington Post. And by the way, it's obvious. In 6 hours, fire the guy, or I'm taking $1 billion home. Oh, son of a bee, they fired him. Why would a Vice President, John Solomon of the United States of America, want a prosecutor in Ukraine fired?
Listen, it's an internal matter, right? And corruption's been endemic to Ukraine. Why was this a 6-hour urgency? Lots of questions, but let's go to something that's new today, Sean. Tonight, I posted for the first time a sworn affidavit obtained by lawyers for a Ukrainian oligarch. It's about to be introduced in a court in Europe. It's from Mr. Shokin, the man who was fired, the prosecutor I interviewed, the Washington Post interviewed, ABC interviewed. In that statement, Mr. Shokin swears under oath he was told he was fired because he refused to drop the Burisma investigation, and it made Mr. Biden, the vice president, unhappy. We have to find out who's telling the truth. This is at the core of the credibility of our United States government. Either Joe Biden's telling the truth, or the prosecutors in these memos and Hunter Biden's legal team are not telling the truth. We have to find out which one is, because it matters to American sovereignty.
Is it a true statement that, like with the Russia conspiracy hoax and lies, that the boomerang was in effect, that the only Russian interference would be Hillary's dirty dossier, that everything they've accused Trump of that he didn't do, basically they did do? Is that pretty similar here?
Yes.
Well, listen, I think a lot of people look at this evidence. I'm going to stay neutral, but a lot of people I talk to say it looks like the Democrats are projecting on Donald Trump what they actually did themselves in Eastern.
So I want to go here to let's see.
There were a billion reasons they fired the guy in 6 hours, wasn't it?
Well, we've known from the very beginning that Mr. Shokin was not a corrupt prosecutor. We've known that he was removed from office under pressure from Vice President Biden because he was investigating the vice president's son and because of his vice president's connection to Burisma Holdings. This is so clear and so obvious, and it is precisely why the Democrats have undertaken this new move against the President of the United States with this corrupt allegation that there was something wrong with a phone call with the President of Ukraine. This is ridiculous. And the reason the Democrats have undertaken this offensive is to protect Vice President Biden. Unfortunately for them, John Solomon and the work that he's done and the official records that are now available are going to really shoot a hole in their ship.
Victoria, we've got less than a minute in this segment. I will hold you both to the next segment. Get your initial thoughts on this.
Well, I have here in my hand the statement of Viktor Shokin, and in it he goes into detail about how Poroshenko, the then president, said, please drop this case, drop the case, and he said, no, I refuse to do it, and Poroshenko said, yes, but Joe Biden's holding up over $1 billion for us. Will you resign for the good of your country? Look at it as a patriotic thing to do. And he did. But, and I want to get to this when we go to the other side, Sean, how he was falsely framed by people in Eastern Europe.
Stay right there. Joe DeGenova, Victoria
Tunstall
Tunstall.
Says InfoWars spoke of this years ago. The MSM are just now catching up 4 years later. And it's not. They all knew about it. They didn't care. They actually, this is what we talked about on Wednesday. They went ahead and put Biden forward, but they were like, you know, kind of duck and covering because they knew these kinds of things are going to come out. There's probably more. I mean, when you're a corrupt person, you leave a trail of corruption behind you. And that's what Joe Biden is.
Yeah, and Hillary Clinton is implicated in Ukraine as well.
This whistleblower needs to go to prison. He doesn't need to be feted. He needs to go to prison.
Sean, I want to jump in here too, and just on this false statements. How did that work? U.S. and other people made false statements about him. Yeah, that was George Soros funded NGOs who were also in bed with the State Department. They were in bed with each other during that time in the name of anti-corruption, and it really means that Soros goes after his competitors. Now, let me bring this full circle. This is my last point here. The whistleblower sprinkles throughout his document footnotes referring to a publication with the initials OOCRP. One guess, Sean, who funds OOCRP? George Soros.
Wow. All right, Joe.
Soros' dirty money is all over this story from day one.
And all over Ukraine, and he still has embedded people at the State Department.
We have a lot of ground to cover in the days to come. Thank you.
Because this is ridiculous. Because she has the Uranium One whistleblower who Congress does not want to have anything to do with, Republican or Democrat, because they implicate Hillary Clinton in some really shady deals, and she has facts. He wasn't just a first-hand witness. He was running these operations. He was running the money
and nobody wants to touch Hillary Clinton. And
that's
what I see is,
is.
I see this whole thing is going to unravel, and they are shooting themselves not just in the foot, in the heart by going after Trump. Because like we talked about on Wednesday, or I don't even know if we mentioned this on Wednesday, but if they actually do move forward with this impeachment process and Trump has to have Giuliani literally mount a defense, he's going to be allowed to call in any witness and under oath. And so Hillary Clinton, Peter Strzok, Lisa Page, anyone from the moon is going to have to be under oath. They will lie, but at least they will have lied under oath.
But here's the thing. It is like asking the British to prosecute themselves for crimes. There is nobody in the State Department or the DOJ at the highest levels or the FBI at the highest levels that has the heart to do this. Now, I believe that William Barr does. However, I'm going to show you some videos. That is why they're going after William Barr's. He's been they're saying Nancy Pelosi, oh, he's turned. He's one of them. He is one of them. He's one of the good guys. I'm going to play a little more snippet here from Devin Nunes here last night, and then we're going to move on, not to another subject, because we're all going about our day. I walked some dogs today. I was out in the sunshine. I just, I fed my pigs. I was going about this, and then I get to the computer. Tulsi Gabbard's on impeachment ban. They're going forward, even though it's been proven that all this is crazy and false. And you've got Chris Wallace and Fox News now.
I don't want to interrupt you, but the transcripts have been released. There is nothing in them. There are no secrets. You can't have a whistleblower if they're saying, I've got information from this phone call, when the actual transcript has been released. You've got nothing. You've got bupkis.
Well, Paul Ryan sits on the board of Fox News and this is in Breitbart today, has told Fox News to part from Trump.
I know.
How is that even going to keep Fox News afloat?
Joe, the gentleman, Victoria debunked, just like the Russia hoax, which you pointed out, is almost identical. And yet we have all this information revealed by John Solomon. Your take?
Well, thanks, Sean, for the kind words. But the bottom line is this was a sad, sad day for America. You're seeing the destruction of one of America's finest institutions, the U.S. Congress. If it can't get any lower, it got it even lower today. And so it doesn't make me proud to be in there today. I mean, it was really miserable for us to sit there and watch the other side actually fabricate statements that they assign to the United States president.
Have a wonderful rest of your weekend. You've got Saturday and Sunday. The weather here in Ohio is going to be great. I don't know about where you are.
Global warming.
It is. It's all global warming.
We're hitting record highs. Global warming.
Isn't it something? Yeah. I'm enjoying it because it's fall and we're able to enjoy our deck
at night when the temperatures
oh my gosh, the temperatures drop so much that I have to wear like big footies and socks and sweatshirts when I sleep because I have the window open. But in the daytime, we're in sleeveless and shorts and sandals because it's so hot.
It's climate change.
It is. Yeah, it changes in 24 hours. It's incredible. I don't know. The world's going to come to an end. All right. We love you guys.
And God loves you. So God bless.
It's cold,